we have worked this year to try to get away from the feed store. Good evening, beautiful people. Let me walk into the shade here. I'm blinding myself looking towards the sun. All right, figured since I had so much going on today, I wouldn't start filming until later. I almost didn't pick up the camera at all, but because of what we have going on, figure it's a good time to talk about it. So, what I got here is I got our feed delivery. We have not been able to shed that purchase. This purchase has been something that is pretty much the thorn in our side. Growing all of our own food the way we do, animal feed, it's been kind of the thing that we haven't been able to get away from. Yes, we grow all of our own meat. It's really cool. But if we're buying premium feed to feed our food, are we really that much farther ahead? So I figured today I would, while we unload all this feed and pile it up in the shed and all that good stuff, I would talk about how we're taking steps to pretty much figure out a way to not break the bank feeding animals. Can you open it now? Yes, you can open it now. I'm glad we have something for you monkeys to climb on. Are you happy to come help?
She is.
I gotta go in here, I gotta tidy up the shed. Doesn't look like I need to sweep real bad. It's a mess in here, but it's always a mess in here. We got our broiler feed because we have our fall batch of broilers coming in like 2 weeks or something like that. And then we've got more pig feed. All right, so we have given Kentucky Organic Farm and Feed a try. I have really liked their pig feed. I feel like the pigs, especially having baby pigs that are now eating this stuff, we're getting ready to wean. That's going to be fun. These pigs have done amazing on this feed. The thing we like about it is, you know, it's organic, which is hard to find, and if you do find it, it's freakishly expensive. It's kind of cool to see a feed that uses odd things to get the protein up. In this case, like they use sunflower seeds to help get the protein up without using soy, which we are after. That's a big plus for us. Over here, the chicken feed, we haven't really seen. Actually, when we put everybody on this feed, we actually saw a drop in our egg production. So, if you see, we have just some Tractor Supply feed. We're gonna run a couple bags through the chickens to see if that helps. I'm not gonna run down the coffee feed because we changed a few things at the same time we went on that feed for the chickens. I started making compost with the chickens, and so too many variables. If it turned out to be the feed, I'd probably let you guys know, but I figured that's an easy commitment. We're gonna experiment with the chicken feed, try an entirely different feed, see if the egg production comes back up. Sister, stay out of there. She loves playing in the chicken feed. Other than that, the pig feed has been awesome. Our old standby that we've been getting for, 2 years now, we've been getting New Country Organic. We can get everything we want with this feed. Organic, soy-free, you know, all the hip things. The only problem is, with everything that is currently going on in this world, the price has skyrocketed. That's why we tried coffee, quite a bit cheaper, but like I said, we're trying to find different ways of, I guess, feeding our animals, trying different feeds and stuff like that. The thing that we've ran into is the actual price of the feed. If it's outrageously expensive, it starts nearing the point where you almost can't afford to feed your animals. So, all right, everybody's starting to sit down on the job, so maybe I better quit yakking and start taking bags of feed.
We're ready yet?
I'm pretty much ready now. I got to figure out where I'm putting the broiler feed first. All right, guys, you guys ready? You can start bringing me broiler feed. All right, that's all of our starter and our broiler. We're gonna turn all that into chicken. Delicious chicken. Every time we do this, the one thing that we have looked for, the one thing that we have asked and researched and done all these things is finding the workaround for broiler feed. Broilers need a lot of feed, they need a lot of protein, and they need it really fast. I have a friend, he is currently seeing if he can raise broilers on food scraps. They're not broilers, they're a Red Ranger. We'll see how he does. I'm very curious to know. If you can raise meat birds on food scraps, opens up a whole world of possibilities. All right, let's bring in the pig feed. Feed restock day is always a good day. Kind of hurts in the pocketbook, but one thing I will point out, this looks like a lot of bags. This actually looks like more bags than we usually get. It's because it is. What we have had to start paying for is, it's called shrinkflation. The sizes of the bags have shrunk 10 pounds. We used to be able to get 50-pound bags. Now the biggest they have is 40. It's kind of a bummer. Now we can get totes. I can buy a 1,000-pound tote. I just don't have a place to put it. That's been the only hang-up. I don't have a place to put it. We could buy totes and we could offload it, but then that means I have to buy drums, and we're still doing all of this movement. So, yeah, let me get out of this shed. It's really hot in this shed. All right, thank you guys.
Welcome.
And monkeys. That was a hot job. As everybody comes in, they're getting sweatier and sweatier and sweatier. And then Buggy's just happy to be here. Are you being a monkey? You are a monkey.
Ooh, careful, sister.
I don't think any of our toddlers have been as good on their feet as that one.
Definitely not.
She's Ooh!
Ooh, careful.
You're stressing me out, sister.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Idea.
You guys are released. Thank you for your help.
What?
You're going to Dad? Okay, come on. I'm just gonna walk and talk to the people on the internet. Okay, we're gonna walk right over here. You wanna go see the cats? Okay, go see the cats. I bet you they run away. Say hi, kitties.
Hi, kitties.
Hi, kitties. Millie has adopted you. Sketch has loyalty to nobody. All right, the reason I walked down here was because I was going to show you a failed crop experiment. It's not a total fail, but it's kind of a, yeah. So these right here, it was kind of a Hail Mary, if you will. These are called Mangel-wurzel beets, or mammoth beets. These things can get to be like 2 or 3 feet long, massive, giant, ugly, knobby beets. I have a feeling just down below this dirt level, that's probably as far down as that beet made it. It actually looks like the beet has hit bottom and is actually pushing out. I mean, that's quite a beet. It's pushing up the weed barrier. I've got a couple more that have actually like done what I wanted them to do. I'm pretty happy with that. Mind you, this whole bed on the edge of the tomatoes was supposed to be full, and that was just what came up. The reason I planted all that is for animal fodder. If you read the book by Sean and Beth Doherty, it's called The Independent Homestead. I don't know why I can't remember that name. They talk a lot about using your land to feed your land. And that book struck a chord with us so much that it kind of made us look at our land and how we're running animals different. Now, all that feed that you just saw us put in the shed, we would like to not be there. We would like to not have to order all that feed and feed our animals all that feed. We would like to be able to grow fodder. In case you hadn't noticed, I'm actually kind of new to this whole growing your food stuff. You know, a garden here and there growing up, that was my parents' thing. I was just kind of along for the ride, and then getting married, Meg wanted a garden, so I'd put in a garden and stuff like that. It's nothing like when you're trying to grow your food plus your animals' food. That's a whole different ballgame. All on, I mean, really, guys, what we're growing in, we have 3 acres of grass. This is a 6-acre property, and we have about 3 acres of grass. I would say we've probably put in 1/4 to 1/2 an acre of garden this year. As time goes on, we're gonna rip out more and more of this grass in some of these areas and put in garden. You guys have seen, the guys who have been here the longest, guys and gals, we've done a lot this year. One of the things I wanted to talk about, we wanted to grow some large squash, gourds, whatever you've got. This year we grew cucuzzis. I don't know if you can see that, but I mean, that's huge. And you can see them, they're everywhere in here. Everywhere in here. This year, pretty much this whole bed, this is an animal fodder bed. We've got sweet potatoes, 2 different types of sweet potatoes. In here, actually, I don't see them anymore, so it must be time to harvest. Yeah, I've got a row in here. Those are potatoes. I've got potatoes in here. Those are kind of for us. It was kind of an experiment. We had some sprouted potatoes, and this has been the year of throw everything in the dirt and see what grows. But we grew these cucuzzis for animal fodder. We haven't tried eating them yet. We will before the season's over. We just haven't thought about it. They've done really, really good. So prolific, in fact, next year, every spare area that I've got, I'm going to be growing these cucuzzis. These things they've been magical. They have done so good. I have been pleasantly surprised. As well as the sweet potatoes. We will have to see how these sweet potatoes do, if they've made tubers. We still got a couple weeks left before our first frost, but so far so good. I've even got another potato crop in here. Still haven't ripped out the corn yet. I was gonna make silage and I changed my mind because I don't have a place that I can stash it. This row of potatoes I put in, aside from the weeds, I didn't have enough mulch down to stop the weeds. They've actually done really, really well. In fact, they're starting to flower, which means when they flower, that means they're pushing out tubers. One of the bummers this year, our Cherokee tan did not do well in this spot. Last year, we had Cherokee tan pumpkins coming out our ears. This year, they didn't. Once we had the blight come through, it pretty much wiped out everything. Now I will say there's a couple yellow squash, like there's one that's disease resistant, not immune. It's been doing all right. This one too. This one looks like it's got powdery mildew, but that's what happens when you live in a temperate rainforest. Anyways, I'm getting off subject. All that to say, our plan is to grow enough food to where we can eat it and our animals can eat the excess. That's what our plan was this year. What has happened is, yes, we made it to that goal. We are able to eat everything we want. We're able to store and preserve everything we want, and the extra goes to the animals. Where we failed is the amount that is required for how many animals we have. We would have to grow probably quadruple, if not more, than what we have now to feed our animals. This is a learning experience. All of this has been an amazing experiment, but it's kind of opened my eyes on how much we would actually need to feed our animals. Something I'd like to know, has anybody else in the homesteading community done this? Have you grown your animals' food? How much of it have you grown? Have you been able to eliminate the feed store? That is proving to be quite a job. You know, I've read some stuff that to feed your pigs and your chickens through the winter, you know, you need to plant 5-6 acres of corn just for your animals. Plant our whole property in corn just for the animals? It's not gonna work like that. We don't have the room for that. So our option is we have to plant intensively and we have to grow a lot of variety. The reason we chose those cucuzzis that are down there is because they'll keep. We can stick them in there in the shed and we don't have to worry about them going bad for quite a while. The pumpkins, I've said it before, we have still got some Cherokee tan pumpkins in there in the kitchen from last year. We grew so many of them and we ate them until we were sick of them. Shelf life on some of that stuff is like no other. It's incredible. So all that to say, we have worked this year to try to get away from the feed store. We've fallen short of that goal, but we have made progress compared to years past. I would say compared to last year, we might have grown maybe 5% of our animal feed, probably even less if I'm honest. This year, we could probably feed our animals for the month of November and the month of December on what we've grown. It would be lean, but we could do it. Realizing you have to utilize your grass, you have to utilize the forest that you have to utilize everything you have in order to replace a feed store. It's gonna take some changing the way we run things, but I think we can do it. If any of you guys have had experience or luck running animals to where you can eliminate the feed bill, I'd love to hear about it. I think that'll do it for today. It's a little bit shorter of a vlog, but it's kind of something that I've been wanting to talk about. I've been wanting to discuss. Let's start a discussion. So I'll leave it right here and I'll catch you guys on the next one.